So much the welcome speech. When you came in and I was waiting, you made me look very short. I can still afford to crack jokes because from what you heard from everyone who has spoken, Dr. Ona was a man of jokes. But he took everything he did seriously. He was my great friend, and I'm proud to say so, even though I'm 5 years younger than him. And when people spoke about the fact that he was very humble and that he never looked at your status in life, it is true. And I'm going to give you one example with myself. We had an Admiral Evalime, who died and was going to be buried at Ekhomu some time ago. And Dr. Ona told me to accompany him to the event. And I went. So I drove a very small car. He drove a very big car. The coupe I drove could only take 2 people. We had 2 small people. And when he saw me, he left his SUV and said he wanted to join me. And you know his height. You know he's a very short man. He squeezed in. And then we drove to the event, which is driver driving behind us. That event ended around 9 p.m. It was service of songs. It ended around 9 p.m. And I was going to sleep at Uromi. He at Irua, at his house. Because I came alone. And of course, at Isha, I can drive by 3 a.m. I'm very used to the place. So I was going to tell him goodbye. I said, where are you doing goodbye to? We will escort you home. Now, for those who don't know, this is Irua. This is Iru. This is Irua. This is Uromi. So he decided to ride with me to make sure I was safe to Uromi. And then when I got home, before he turned, and I started driving to Irua. And who was I? I could have been his driver. I will show you how humble he is, and the fact that the security he taught, he practiced. He wanted to be sure I was safe. That was the first thing I saw, and I wondered, this man. And then there were other things I learned from him, but I don't want to bother you because I want to speak about him, and I will speak about his wife and the company we are managing today, because they are all intertwined. When he died in Lagos. And I've never told anybody this, but I say it today because we are celebrating him. Madam called me. I was in Benin. And he said, I want you to come and help take your friend home. I was the one giving the codes that enabled me to go to the mortuary, identified him, and got him from Lagos. In other words, I had the privilege of escorting him on his last journey from Lagos back to the world. I've learned quite a lot from him because if you listen to the common thread in the speeches that people have made, this man was a teacher, a practicing teacher that you pass through him, no matter how dumb, sorry for that word, you must pick up one or two things. And I picked quite a number from him. He was a delegator, extraordinary. You see, if you want people to grow, you give them responsibilities. I didn't know the company much while I was in Benin or when I was working in the meat, when I got to know him and we were living in the same estate. But when I left the meat and I realized, went back to Benin, he was doing some things in Benin related to security. And he called me and showed me what he was doing. If you hear about the security architecture of Edo State, which was set up by Governor Obaseki, your dad was behind it. And what I saw that I worked with, if you had something happening, could be a road accident, could be an armed robbery attack, you simply dial 732. Or, I think 722, or 739. You can try 739 from here now as we speak. If the new leaders in Edo have not collapsed it. And somebody will pick the phone and ask you, they will just greet you and ask you, what is your emergency? And then you tell them what it is and tell them where you are. In the next 10 to 15 minutes, there's a team of security operatives, Army, Police, Air Force, DSS, NSDC. They will arrive at that premises. And it was working. I tested it. And in their control room, you could see streets in Benin, live, real time. So when he was doing that work, he was in Lagos, he would fly into Benin, stay in government house, and then sometimes the governor will ask him, we have a meeting so day, I hope you are going to come. He will tell him, I'm busy, but I'm going to send Austin. Say, who is Austin? He said, don't worry, it's one of my top guys. Ona has a way of lifting your profile. And I started to attend those meetings and so on, and I know all the things that happen. And then I was just talking about dedication. You could see how he was dedicating me. I would write reports, I would send to Tokwe. I didn't even know who Tokwe was. Anything he would say, no, talk to Tokwe. I thought Tokwe now won't be madam. So, and I was communicating and relating with her, sending reports, doing everything. Anything we needed to do, flight tickets, I would call Tokwe. So the day I met Tokwe for the first time, I said, small girl. You know, what does that mean? It means it grows people. And today in Transworld, I can say it in presence of Madam, that Tokwe is a pillar that holds the group. So that will show you how well Ona grows people. He wants you to grow. There are some leaders who wants you to be seen as their boy. They will never present you in good light. So they want people to know I'm one of my boys. That's not Ona. If Ona wants to talk to me where people are, he will use the word sir. Sir, I can't even clean issue. That was Ona. So I think he left when the ovation was still loud. We would have wanted him to stay more, but God knows why he left when he left. And if you attended the service of song that was done for him at Mission Center, and you see the quality of speeches that were made, and the caliber of people that made them, you know that we lost a man. So it was shocking, people were crying. However, this lady you see sitting here, you know, sometimes people talk about clone. You say somebody is a clone of another. Yes, she's a lady, but she's a lady who is wearing a man's shoes. I think quite a number of people on this company will die with the founder. But so that I don't bore you, I'll just tell you a few things that have happened since our brother passed. As we speak, when you are live in, below this floor, you will see one very fine door. You can open it and just peep. If you visit us some months to come, you won't be able to know the difference between some of the offices on the core Atlantic City and that floor. That's what we're going to move into. The quality of it will be amazing. But it's not just about offices. When our brother passed, we had office in Abuja, Port Harcourt, Lagos. The one in Benin wasn't very stable. In fact, there was no employee in the Benin office at that time. As we speak, Madam has been able to grow the business such that we now have footprints in Kano. We have in Benin, Edo Delta, and we are maintaining the ones we had before he passed. And just yesterday, on Monday, our footprint extended to Asaba. We are not only growing the business in terms of guard services, we are doing other things. On the journey management business now, we are a huge player, and I know the number of SUVs she has had to add to the fleet. And the management of the business is such that today we are asking for more people to join because the harvest is large, but the workers are few. That is the stage we are. I can tell you about other things that we have done, but I don't want to bore you from that. What it all means is that he prepared someone to take his place. And luckily, because of the extremely well prepared, extremely good preparation he did, he's not been let down. If he was here, we'd be very proud. So may his soul rest in peace, and may God protect his wife and children.
Amen.